Welcome to the Anime Madness Wormhole. I am your host, HenDiddy, and I am joined here tonight with my co-host, KillerCoat412.
What's up?
And today's Wormhole, we will be talking about the fall anime lineup. So as you can see to my, I think it's to the left for y'all. So to the left, well, on the screen, of course, you'll see the Rogue Nation Cup. Make sure you check out the links in the description if you're watching on YouTube. Or just use the code TheMadness5 at checkout at rogueenergy.com. You get yourself 5% off. But further to the left, you'll see I have the Mal list pulled up with this fall's anime lineup. And Mal does a fantasy anime league. I'm also going to go over what ones I selected for that as well. But with that said, first one that's coming out on October 3rd is Paradox Live, the animation. So, I don't know much about this one. I haven't read any synopsis, but I am planning on watching it. Have you heard anything about it?
Damn, mic was muted. No, I haven't.
So, as far as I do know about it, it is a music, but it's not like the idol ones, like the Kizuna no Allier. It's not like that or anything like that. Because it's more based on hip hop instead of like idol culture. Just from what I can see in the first line of the synopsis here. The next one, though, is one that I'm extremely excited for, and I know Skeletoni is as well, is The Rising of the Shield Hero Season 3. That is starting on October 6th. I am extremely excited about that one. It's one of the ones I'm most excited for. I don't know if you're... Did you catch up in Shield Hero or no?
I don't think so. Maybe.
The one about the dude who gets accused of a certain R word in like the very first episode and gets ostracized just because he's a shield hero.
Yeah.
Yeah. Season 2 was pretty forgettable. Even the author himself did not like the way he did season 2 in the light novel. So hopefully season 3 is another step up. There is a promotional video. I haven't seen it yet, and it's saying here it's going to be 12 episodes. Hopefully that turns out good. Next one up is Goblin Slayer Season 2, another one that I'm extremely excited for and cannot wait for. The first season took me by surprise. I thought it was just going to be about like an adventurer who hunts goblins, and that first episode is very like, hold up, that did not just happen.
Didn't we just talk about this in the last episode, or was it the episode before?
About Goblin Slayer?
Yeah, it was,
It was for
sorry. It was,
the... I think it was for the fantasy episode. I think Goblin Slayer was on fantasy episode.
yeah, it was in one of them. I remember you did the whole rundown.
Yeah, it oof. Yeah, Goblin Slayer was 15 seed on the last episode. Which, if you have not seen the last episode, it's up on the YouTube. Go ahead and check it out. Anime Madness PC on YouTube. Link will be in the description, or link is in the About section on Twitch. Keep forgetting there's no descriptions on Twitch. But yeah, I'm extremely excited to see where it goes. The cool thing about this story is none of the characters actually have names. Their names are literally just the Japanese words for their classes. Like, I mean, Goblin Slayer is just called Goblin Slayer, if we look at it. Ona Shikain is priestess, or something like that. I think it shows on, yeah, just priestess, which is her class. And elf is literally a character's name. Because the way the author intended this story was put yourself in the shoes of the Goblin Slayer. You are the Goblin Slayer, is how he intended for this story to be. which I think is pretty cool. You don't see that in too many anime.
Nah, well, nah, never mind. I was thinking, I was like, nah.
No, you really don't. I mean, like, yeah, you can put yourself in the shoes of the main character in a lot of animes, but this is one where he deliberately didn't give them names for that specific reason.
Yeah.
Next up is the second season of. Oh, and that's going to be starting on October 7th. Also on October 7th, the second season of Spy Family. The cute but devious Anya returns. I know you've watched season one. Are you excited for season two of this?
Sorry, I'm running water right now. I'm making dinner at the same time as doing the podcast. I am sorry. Um, but yeah, not as much as I thought I would be, but yeah.
So the only reason that this is getting me slightly excited because of some things that are going to happen based on the visual art that we have for this season. I can see the cruise line ship. Um, Without spoiling anything, basically Anya and Lloyd win a cruise trip, and it turns out that Yor also has a business trip as the Thorn Princess on this same cruise ship. And the arc's not over in what's released in the tankobons in America, the actual volumes. The arc's not over yet, but the arc has been completed for a while. I just haven't caught up on Viz yet. But that arc so far is probably one of the funniest arcs so far, and that gets me a little excited for this, but not as much as the next couple on the list that are coming out. With the next one being The Eminence in Shadow Season 2, starting October 4th. I know you can't wait for that one.
Which one? Sorry.
Eminence in Shadow?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I can't fucking wait. Season one was just fucking insane. It was hilarious.
So, little
Um,
disclaimer on Season 2. You know how Season 1 was 20 episodes?
yeah, what's season
Season
two?
2 is going to have, I believe it's an hour long first episode,
Oh,
but it's only 12 episodes.
I don't care. I mean, the hour-long one makes it up.
I think that's what it is because they did in Japan and Germany and France had a theatrical screening of the first episode back in July. But it is
Okay.
going to be
But yeah, I
the
mean,
Blood Queen
each
arc.
episode for season one was maybe a little bit more than 20 minutes, but that's about it.
Yeah, it followed the average
Other
like
than that,
23-minute runtime
yeah,
because they have for
yeah,
TV they have a half-hour slot and there is one commercial break in the middle of it, which I know you're caught up on Bleach. For Bleach, when the Dotten cards show up, you know the Dotten cards in the middle of the episode.
yeah.
That's where the commercial break starts with the first Dotten card and then comes back from commercial break in the second Dotten card.
Oh, yeah.
So the way it's aired on normal TV over in Japan is 30-minute window, one commercial break. So that normally means, okay, so they're half-hour episodes. You cut them down for the commercial. They're going to be roughly about 23, 24 minutes, and that's normally what you see.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one that
Huh?
I'm extremely excited for. The next one I'm also excited for, mainly for the simple fact that I've already completed the manga of this series, and that is Doctor Stone New World Part 2. It's weird that they're naming this arc New World because the New World arc is actually the next arc. This is the Japan exploration arc or the plutonium arc. The New World arc, slight spoiler warning, I apologize for this, but the New World arc is when they go to America. That's the New World arc, and then there's the South America arc, and then the final arc. So I wonder what they're gonna call the North America arc in the anime. Unless they're gonna take the last three arcs and make it like a three core, where it's just like the final war arc or something, and it be three cores with North America being one core, South America being another core, and the final part being the third core. Which is totally something they
I
can
I
do.
I don't know. I think when it comes to their terminology, they're pretty special whenever it comes to that. Okay.
Well, yeah, core is a slightly newer term used as well. I think it's been used for a while in Japan, but it's just starting to be used in America. And I think one of the first ones that actually did that was Mushoku Tensei with its two parts for season one. With that said, we also have
Yeah,
a.
honestly, it wasn't too long ago to where you told me about arcs and cores. I'm like, what
Mhm.
the fuck is an arc?
So an arc has
Like you
always
keep
been a
saying
thing.
that.
It's just a story arc.
Yeah.
That's always been a thing. Core is slightly
Well,
newer. The first time I actually heard it was with Bleach Thousand Year Blood War. When they said in the tweet that I read that there was gonna be four cores. I was like, what the fuck's a core? And basically, a core is like a season or part of a season, is what it is.
yeah.
Spy Family, the first season of Spy Family was actually broken into two cores. So I have a feeling the second season is either just gonna be 24 episodes or split into two 12-episode cores again. The next one, starting September 29th, is Firin, Beyond Journey's End. And this is just one of those adventure Demon King type shows. Demon King has been defeated, and the victorious hero party returns home before disbanding. So it's basically a post story, kind of like Level 1 Demon King and One Room Hero, where it's like what happens in life after the Demon King is defeated by the adventurers type thing. Is my main gist of it. I don't think I'm going to watch it. The first
I
six I'm
mean,
watching. I
all
don't
I
think
heard
I'm
was
gonna
Demon King and I
watch.
was in love.
So yeah, it's following the party that are the heroes, the ones that defeated the Demon King. It's following them after they defeated the Demon King, and when they disband. But I don't think I'm gonna watch it. Um, I think this is one that maybe in the future, if I just feel like randomly picking up a random anime, it might be one I randomly pick up. I don't think it's one I'm gonna watch right off the jump like this. It's done. I just saw this. It's done by Studio Madhouse. That might change my mind on this because they did Hellsing Ultimate, they did No Game No Life, they did Hunter x Hunter, and what else have they done? I know they've done other stuff. They did Death Note, One Punch Man season one. They did the first season of. They did Overlord. Looks like all four seasons of Overlord. They did the original Trigun. They did Black Lagoon. They did Monster, High School of the Dead, Parasite, Claymore. They got a huge repertoire. I didn't even
So
notice they
it
were the
ought to
one.
be pretty fucking good.
Yeah, the animation should be insanely good. They did
Sorry,
Hajime no
that's probably
Ippo.
loud.
But I don't think there's enough. I don't think the story is enough to pull me in because with the level one Demon King and the One Room Hero, I was like, I started watching it because the cover art had me thinking, what the hell is this? And that's why I started watching it.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, you also got to think like how I was with Dead Mount Deathplay, which I'm currently watching for those who are not in the Discord. It is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's pretty much my whole situation of why I started watching Dead Mount Deathplay is because, um, the aspect of necromancy and it being an isekai um intrigued me. I watched the first, what was it, 4 episodes of it, and I was just kind of hooked. But then my mind got running, and I was like, you know who else would like this? The wifey, because she loved Eminence. Now, it kind of has the same swing on things.
I think
It's
Deadmau5
funny.
Deathplay took some inspiration from Drifters because if I remember correctly, Deadmau5 Deathplay is a seinen, and actually part two is actually yeah, it is a seinen because part two actually starts in the fall as well.
Yeah.
We'll get down to that one.
Well,
It's not
fun
far.
fact. Yeah, fun fact. Dead Death Play, season 2, coming
It's
out in the
not
fall.
season two. It's core two. It's still season one.
Or 2. So sorry.
Coming out also on
Fucking
the
cores and
4th
seasons.
of October is the third season of Tokyo Revengers. I have not started Tokyo Revengers. I want to read it first. I've heard the ending was pretty bad, but I do want to read it before I watch it because I have heard that reading it then watching it actually helps with the experience of watching it better because there's a couple things that they cut out that get explained in the manga but just get briefed over in the anime and it leaves you slightly confused. But that's just what
I
I've
mean, that
heard.
happens a lot too.
It does like I already know that like there's certain things I have to explain to Sage about Trigun because he just finished the original series. Once again, if you're not in the Discord, that's what he just recently completed. um, and I had to explain to him a couple things about it and what the new one is and all that because I have the knowledge of that. And then for like Bleach, there was certain things with post credit scenes in Core Two. Spoilers for Bleach Core Two of the Thousand Year Blood War. The post credit scenes with Ichigo and in the that like training area, just walking, and the visions he was seeing. Like I had to give you
Oh
and
yeah, going down the
Tony,
path.
yeah, I had to give you and Tony some context of what he's seeing, because this it's all new material. So anime only people are like, what the hell is this? Because you guys haven't seen the Rayo yet. But people who have read the manga have already seen what the Rayo looks like, so we knew right off the bat that that's Rayo. But that's all the explanation I gave them. Don't worry, I didn't spoil any of the other major stuff that's going to come in Core 3. I'm not that heartless.
He wouldn't do that because he knows I'd kick his ass if he did.
Yep. When it comes to spoilers, Cope is one of those people who are just like, I don't really care, but don't do it for Bleach.
Except when it comes to Bleach.
Bleach is like the only series he cares about for spoilers, and I've offered to lend him and Tony the manga so they can read the Thousand Year Blood War. Because trust me when I say it's two totally different experiences reading it and then watching it. After Core 1 ended, I read. So I already reread the Thousand Year Blood War in the manga before Core 1 started. Then after Core 1, I went and read the Core 1 chapters again, and I was like, holy shit, this is so different. So it's a completely different experience. And I believe it's volume 49 through 74 is the Thousand Year Blood War. It's either 49, I think it's 49 starts the Thousand Year Blood War. No, 49 starts the Fullbringers. It's 50 through 74. Or 50. I think it's 52 through 74. I don't know, I can't see my manga. I know off the covers. Just off the covers what volume starts what arc and ends what arc. Chapter 480. So it is. It's volume 55, so 55 through 74. So I was off. The Fullbringer arc is 49 through 54. So I was off by a couple volumes.
Well, for a man of knowledge of multiple manga, to try to remember that off the top of your head, it requires skill.
Hey, now, I can tell you what volume Aizen gets hit with Mugetsu.
Go on.
Volume 48. It's the second chapter of volume 48.
See?
The end of that chapter is when he gets sealed by Urahara.
Okay. And how many volumes or novels or whatever have you read between then and now?
From when I read that originally, let's see,
Yeah.
that was my 48th volume I've ever read.
Okay.
Because
So
it was the
subtract
first
48
series.
in your inventory.
My total volumes is 1,343.
Okay. So yeah, that takes a lot of I'd say skill, but mind training in a way to remember that.
Hey,
Remember everything from every single freaking novel or manga that you have read.
I can't remember if I sent you this, but Bakuman Volume 2, the cover of it
I
has one of the
think
main
you did.
characters holding a volume of Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach.
You did.
Yeah,
You sent me that a while ago.
yeah. I ended up looking up what volumes they were because I couldn't remember exactly what volumes they were, but I was relatively close. Because I said, like, I
Well,
think
I
it's
think
early
you got
40s
the one.
for Naruto. I said early 40s. It ended up being volume 34. For One Piece, I said like late 40s. It was volume 52. And for Bleach, there's not enough context. It's definitely a cover with Ichigo on it on the front because you can see Ichigo's orange hair. But if we look up Bleach manga volumes, it's not volume 1 because you can't see the hilt of the sword. My guess would either be volume 19, 49. I would say it's either 19 or 49. Based on the Naruto and One Piece volumes being the 50s and 30s respectively, I would have to say it's volume 49 of Bleach, where Ichigo's hair is just barely clipping Bleach. But with that said, back on topic. The Faraway Paladin Season 2 is also airing on October 7th. Haven't even watched Season 1. I didn't even know this was an anime until getting ready for this podcast. I don't know if you've heard of the Faraway Paladin.
Seems slightly familiar, but doesn't really ring a bell.
All it has for the synopsis is just second season. Next, airing on October
Well,
22nd,
that's fast.
is the Apothecary Diaries. Um, it's another historical one. It's about an imperial court in ancient China. So this is a Chinese story being turned into an anime, similar to the Daily Life of the Immortal King. And there's a couple others I can't remember the names of off the top of my head. Um, it sounds interesting, but it also sounds like I can't remember the series name. But basically, it's a 17-year-old girl gets kidnapped and forced to work as a low-level servant at the Emperor's palace. It kind of reminds me of the Oku, however you say it. It was a Netflix series that it was a Netflix anime. It dropped in the summer. It was 8 episodes, and it was about how this. It was slightly more supernatural than this one is, because there was a disease that went around that killed men. So men were precious, and women had to take over the jobs. And in the emperor became a woman, and in the emperor's palace, she had the chamber of the Oku, where there'd be 100 male servants for her picking. And a lot of them were considered low level. Only certain ones got to be higher level. Kind of what it reminds me of. I don't know if I'm going to watch this. I do love historical anime, but this is one that I don't know if I'm going to watch. This one does not have an English title. Okay, our dating story, the experienced you and the inexperienced me. I don't even want to get into this one, honestly. I a
Hey
glue
man, it's
a,
your podcast. You don't
a,
want to get into it, don't get into
a gloomy introverted high schooler with no experience falls in love with this like girl that has a bunch of experience apparently.
it.
But the next one though, ooh, I've been waiting for this one for a couple years. Um, ever since the series like started and I heard about it, I didn't get to start reading this series until recently, but I heard about this series like right when it started, and it's called Undead Unluck. So, in this version of
I've heard
Japan,
of it.
some people are born with special abilities. Well, the main female character has the special ability of extreme unluck. Basically, anyone who touches her has this huge unluck, like bad karma thrown on them to where they die within like 5 minutes of touching her. And the main male character is undead. He cannot die. So they kind of form a dynamic relationship to try to get these special abilities like removed. He just wants to die. I believe it's stated in the first volume, he's like 100 some years old. So he just wants to die. He actually meets her when she tries to commit seppuku, and she just wants to be able to have like normal relationships with people without having to burden them with her unluck. It's really great. I said I haven't read much of it yet because I didn't get the chance to start reading it till recently because I have so much other stuff on my palette. If you're part of the Discord, you know what I mean. You've seen that list. Um, but it's an extremely good series. It's hilarious. It's extremely bloody. So I wonder how David Production is going to censor this because it is extremely bloody and there's a lot of frontal nudity as well. Granted, it's blotched out a lot of the time with either blood or like the body parts are just ripped off, but then there's even more blood and gore. So how David Production is going to censor this, I'm kind of intrigued to see what they do. Any thoughts? Did this pique your interest?
Slightly. Um, just because you said it's bloody.
I mean, the dude's undead, and her unluck causes people to die. So he's constantly like getting
So what? They just
decapitated.
implode?
What's up?
I said, so what? They just implode? They're like, hey,
No,
how you doing?
no.
Dead.
It's like one of the first encounters between them two is he bumps into her. Well, he saves her from killing herself, and because he touched her, he goes across the street and a truck runs the red light. So it's just like something unlucky that kills you happens, like a piano getting dropped on you, a random decapitation from a
Um,
motorcycle crash, a random truck blowing a red light and hitting you. Like, it's all random, and it adds to the hilariousness because when she first sees it and sees him getting killed, she's like, "Oh my god, oh no!" And his head's just sitting there like, "It's all good, I'm all right," and it's just his head. Uh, it's hilarious. It's one of the funniest new gens that I've read. Granted, I read a lot more darker stuff, but still, this has that darkness and comedy.
ooh, I'm intrigued. Darkness and comedy.
Yeah. Next is the second season, The Girlfriend Girlfriend. Um, it's a harem school anime. That's pretty much all you need to know about it. The Saint's Magic Power is Omnipotent Season 2. I've never even heard of this one. The themes is adult cast isekai medical. Huh? Let's see what the synopsis is on the first season. Since ancient times, the citizens of Slantania have lived within the shred of miasma, a force that brings forth monsters creating havoc around the world. When the kingdom's order of knights becomes incapable of containing the monsters, the grand mages summon a holy maiden, the legendary saint, to obliterate the horrid creatures and restore peace. Hmm. Okay. So probably that's probably another one where it's like, oh, if I watch it later on, I'll watch it later on. Probably not gonna watch it. Next, Dead Mountain Death Play, Core 2. That is starting October
Yeah,
10th.
we already did this. We already know. Sorry if you hear crackling in the background. I am grilling some stuff.
Okay.
Still making dinner.
Um,
I have a Bluetooth mic so I can move around hands free and still talk.
lucky
I'm
you. My
going to
mic
try
isn't
to keep the
Bluetooth.
noises down to a limited
Um,
amount of noise. No.
Next one is Ron Kamanashi, Deranged Detective. Um, a detective lacking skills in the Metropolitan Police Department. Hmm. Probably not
Just
gonna
sounds
watch.
like an average cop.
Yeah, probably not gonna watch that one either. Um, Next one I'm definitely not watching it, but it might be one that like I'll throw on in the background if a dub ever gets made of it, because it is a parody. The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love Me. Yes, there's that many reallys in the title.
Is there really?
Really, really. It is a harem parody. Upon graduating middle school, Rentaru Aijo, fuck, can't speak, manages to confess to the girl he loves. Unfortunately, he gets rejected. making it his 100th rejection in a row. Having experienced heartbreak after heartbreak, he goes to a matchmaking shrine and prays with the hope of finally getting a girlfriend in high school. Suddenly, the god of the shrine appears, promising Rentaru that he will meet 100 soulmates in high school. Yeah, that's a background anime
I
whenever it
thought
gets dubbed.
everybody, I thought everybody had one soulmate. How the f you reach 100 soulmates?
I know. Is it
Shit,
gonna be
you
something
must just
like?
find one.
Is it gonna be something like the Misfit of Demon King Academy, where like the hero had 7 cores, so he technically had 7 souls?
I
Like this
mean,
dude just ends up having like 100 souls inside of him. Is he gonna be? Is he Nightmare Luffy?
oh god.
Context for those of you who are not
Speaking
caught up to
of,
Thriller Bark. Nightmare Luffy is a version of Luffy where Luffy takes in 100 shadows to make himself strong enough to fight Gecko Moria, one of the Shishibukai. Hence why I made the Nightmare Luffy
so
reference, because 100, 100, you get the gist.
yeah,
What were you gonna say?
sorry. My wife was on the phone and she ended up like coming over and talking right next to me. Um, so today, while she was at the Ren Fest, she ran into a Luffy
That's
because it was Pirate Week.
Yeah. My dad said it was Pirate Week because he asked me if I wanted to go tomorrow, and he's like, "Yeah, there's probably gonna be a bunch of anime stuff down there because it's Pirate Week." Because apparently last week there was a
Not
bunch of anime
really?
stuff.
I
Which
believe it.
last week was what, the medieval week.
Yeah.
So I mean, you figure you got Vinland
Yeah.
Saga, you got pretty much any of these isekais. They're pretty much set in the medieval sceneries. You got Berserk,
Right.
um, Castlevania.
Um, I did. Uh, we ended up making a list for this.
No, that's just historical that we made.
Uh,
So that like has like Edo, Meiji, Bokomotsu, like those eras of Japan, which are post. So a couple of the Edo is post medieval. Meiji, I believe, is during medieval. Hold on. When was the Meiji period? So the Meiji period was 1868 to 1912. So that was after. So this was after Edo. So Edo and Meiji were both post um, medieval. That said, next anime is The Kingdoms of Ruin. Also, before we get into the Kingdoms of Ruin, the Naruto 4 episodes. I'm kind of pissed they did this, but because it would have meant the entire month of September, Bleach, One Piece, and Naruto was all coming out on the same day, which would have been so cool to have the big three all the big three all releasing on the same day. But they delayed it indefinitely. There's no new schedule time for it. And there's no reasons why it was delayed yet. Nothing has been confirmed yet. But a lot of speculation is because there was a leak back when the Minato chapter came out, that these were going to be 4 1 hour long episodes covering certain parts of the series, like the tuning exams. Like one episode was going to be the entire tuning exam. One episode was going to be Sasuke retrieval arc. One episode was going to be the fight at Final Valley post Sasuke retrieval arc, and then one episode was going to be like the final fight at the Final Valley. So you had both Final Valley fights. The Kaguya fight was going to be part of the second one. The Sasuke retrieval arc and the Chunin exams. It was a huge leak. Everyone was excited for that to be it. And I don't think that's what Period had in mind, because they did release right before they put out the delay order that they're only going to be 23-minute episodes. So everyone got furious, and then all of a sudden delayed indefinitely.
They pretty much said, "Oh, you're not happy with what we're giving you? Fine,
It was all going to
fuck
be
you." And
reanimation with the same style of animation that Bleach currently is getting.
right.
Like, how dope would that? Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Naruto. Yeah, I'm wearing a Pain shirt right now. Yes, I know. I have volumes of Naruto. I have a bunch of Naruto Funkos. I have the Naruto G Fuel. Like, but to me, Naruto ranks in like the 40s in my top 50. Most of that is attributed to the Fourth Ninja War. It was pretty damn bad. The pacing was awful. The introduction to Kaguya was just an ass pull. That the whole like backstory of the Sage of Six Path is anime only. It's not in the manga, because Kaguya was a last minute, like, Kishimoto's editor was like, "Look, Jubidara is too weak. You had Night Guy almost kill him. You need someone stronger." And then boom, Kaguya appears, just out of thin air in the manga. So like, there's, and plus the amount of filler that's in it, it just gave the whole series down. But to see Naruto with the same animation that the Thousand Year Blood War is getting, dude, that had me excited. For a series that like I'm like about, it had me excited.
Which is understandable.
Like, what's a series you've watched that you think is like really mid, that like you wouldn't watch again? Like, you've watched it once, that's good enough.
Um, well, I ended up watching Naruto once. And I think Death Note once, Overlord once.
Well, Death Note is easy to go back and watch again. It was good
Oh yeah.
animation. Madhouse did good. Overlord is another one that was on your top 16, so that one I'm not gonna count. Like, something you've watched that's not
No.
on your top 16.
Uh, shit. I don't know. I mean, I would. Uh, I don't really know what's not on my top 16.
I can pull your top 16 up. There's Kush.
Okay.
There it
Yeah.
is.
Help me out here.
We had Overlord and Bleach, Dragon Ball, Seven Deadly Sins. Hell, we can even Seven Deadly Sins was your 12, but like, say that final season, the fourth season of Seven Deadly Sins, came out with brand new animation on the level of like Demon Slayer or Bleach. Like, would that not
Oh,
get you
dude.
hyped
Fuck
the
yeah.
fuck up?
Oh yeah. I
Like,
mean, even if now, I would still go and watch like Full Metal or
Full Metal's animation is
um
good for when it came out.
yeah,
That's the same with like Death
but
Note.
I would totally go and watch it again, even as it sits.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was to be reworked, like the visual aspect, if it was going to be reworked or reanimated, I would be like, fuck yeah.
I think the reason like they went
I
as
might,
hard on that
you know.
animation for Brotherhood was because it was already a reboot. It was already the second anime for the series. Because you had the original '03 version, which ended with the Philosopher's Stone being an owl. Inside of Al's armor had the Philosopher's Stone. It made no sense. Now, there are some parts of the original that are, in my opinion, a little better because they went a little darker, especially the scene with Nina and Shao Tucker. They went a lot darker in the original anime for that.
Uh, but I think they might have a few more restrictions now than they did then.
It, not necessarily. I mean, did you watch today's Bleach episode?
Unfortunately, not.
Yeah, all I'll say is what restrictions? That's also a shonen. how
Yeah,
Kubo
I'll get to that.
how Kubo got away with the Thousand Year Blood War arc in a shonen magazine is beyond me. Because this is like the Thousand Year Blood War. Like we're not even at some of the like worst parts yet. Like Core 3, some of those fights, like granted in Core 1, the Byakuya and Asnot fight was probably the most gruesome of what has come out yet in the Thousand Year Blood War. It's the most bloody, the most gruesome to come out yet. But there's some more stuff that hits that
I'd
level.
say I'd say second would probably be Renji and what's his name? Star or some shit like that.
Oh, Superstar.
Superstar.
Sturner S, the Superstar. I can't remember his actual name. I just know he's Sternator S. It's so hard to keep track of all the Sternators' names because there's 26 of them. Well, technically
Yeah.
28 because Grammy. So that person in the first core when Ichigo first gets to the Soul Society, that first Sternritter he sees, Vaz, I believe his name is, the one with the glasses that Ichigo just blitzes. We still don't know who he actually
Yeah.
is, but it's a theory in the Bleach community that that is actually one of Gremmy's creations using V the Visionary. And then, of course, the one that attacks Yachiru and Isane is also a production of V the Visionary from Grammy. So that technically makes it 28 Sternators. But it's a lot of people to keep track of
Interesting.
all their names.
Right.
Because sometimes their names match up with like their abilities. Like you have Bambietta Bambadine, who is the Explode. You have Candace Catnip, the Thunder. You have uh, Miname Masculine, the Power. She's the one that beats down Rukia in the
Yeah.
first core. You have Lilietta, the Gluttony. And then you have Giselle, the Zombie. Like, and that's just the Quincy Cleach, the Quincy Click, is what the fan base calls them because it's like the five girls. Well, five girls. Giselle gets called out. If you haven't seen last week's episode, sorry for spoiler, but Giselle gets called out by Yumi Chika, which they actually
Yeah,
dumbed
I've
that
seen it.
they dumbed that down in the manga when he says you're
Mhm.
actually a dude, aren't you? And she gets in shock. Yumi Chika has another line after she like gets cut and she starts spraying blood and she gets that like smile. Yumi Chika goes, "You got a heart on, don't you?" In the manga, they completely cut that from the anime.
Jesus. Well, understandably,
What did you think of Rukia's new costume, new outfit?
uh,
They got bigger,
from
I
when?
think. Her newest one when she shows up to the Soul Society. That happened
Oh
last
well,
episode.
yeah.
Yeah,
Was that last episode?
yep. They got bigger. There's also a scene that people are speculating is removed, and I think because it's already come past. I'd have to look at the episode again. Um, but there is a scene in the manga. I can't remember if Yoruichi met up with Orihime and them already. But there's a scene in the manga when Yoruichi first shows up and meets up with them. Um, she takes her hand and puts it right in between Orihime's boobs. And goes, she turns to Ichigo and goes, Ichigo, don't you see this? You know she's not comfortable wearing this. She's doing it for you. I don't
Jesus
think they're gonna
Christ.
keep that in the anime with the way Kubo said for them to like remove the
No, but
comedy elements where
I'm
you see fit.
I'm pretty sure that scene happened
Last
last
episode,
week or the week before. Yeah.
but either way, like
The week before was uh, a bye week, wasn't it?
what episode? Episode
Or
10 came out today, so no. 2 weeks ago was the recap week.
yeah. So it would have been last week.
Yeah. Either way, back on topic. That was a long tangent. The Kingdom of Ruin. Um, it seems like a magic fantasy that gets scientific gear added into it. Its theme is gore. They're trying to liberate humanity from the blight of magic. How does this make this? Oh, oh. A wizard called Endonius vows for revenge. By this furious wizard's power, blood will flow. I see where the gore is now. Okay. Might have to pick that one up. Next one, starting on October 3rd, the Demon Sword Master of Excalibur Academy. Uh, Pretty much what I've based from this one is it's like Heroes of Classroom of Heroes, but different. Um, a Dark Lord awakens after 1,000 years, finds himself in the body of a 10-year-old boy. He quickly meets a girl, and yeah, I put this as plan to watch. This is probably gonna be one of the silly ones that I watch that I'm not really paying attention to. Kind of like what did I watch this season that is just like, oh, I'm not really gonna pay attention. Oh, Genjitsu no Yonane or Yohane. It's just one of those ones just there for me. Next one is one I'm definitely watching, and seeing that Seven Deadly Sins was 12 on your top 16, I highly suggest you watch it as well. After you watch the 2-part, I guess you can call them movies or specials of Seven Deadly Sins, the ones that follow Tristan, Meliodas' son. It's 2 episodes. I think they're roughly an hour long. They're on Netflix. And I think this is going to be on Netflix as well. They're 52 minutes long. Yeah, it's The Grudge of Edinburgh, Part 1 and 2. The second one is 54 minutes long. They went with a new animation style. It's a whole new studio doing it. Doing Seven Deadly Sins in general. They went with this whole new animation style. And these are the 2 prequel episodes of the next series, which starts on October 8th. being the Four Knights of the Apocalypse, which is following Meliodas and Elizabeth's son, Tristan, uh, Bon and Elaine's son, Lancelot, and two other Knights of the Apocalypse, one named Percival. I cannot remember the fourth one's name. She was just introduced. I feel like she has giant blood in her. Gawain. Gawain is her name. So she represents famine for the Four Knights of the Apocalypse. She's Gawain, Master of the Sun. She is the next inheritor of Sunshine, Escanor's power. When she is not empowered by Sunshine, she resembles a little girl wearing a mix of Escanor and Merlin's clothing. And if I remember correctly, she does come from the Kingdom of Camelot, which is where Merlin is. So, could be Merlin's daughter. We don't know yet. But I'm actually very excited to see that one.
Me too.
Next one has already
We were
had.
just talking about it.
Just talking about. Yeah, we were just talking about some of the listens. That's why I brought up it being number 12 on your list. Next one has already been airing for a couple weeks. I believe episode 2 is coming out this week or today. It's FLCL Grunge. It is the 4th season of FLCL. Don't really got to spend much time on that. It's just the 4th season. It's a side story of the main FLCL, so not like the one that I've read. It's a different storyline. But next is one that I plan on watching. It's called Ragna Crimson. In a world where dragons rule sky, sea, and land, those who would fight them and win must surpass the limits of normal human strength. Set on victory at any cost, Dragon Hunter Ragna joins the forces with the mysterious Crimson. Crimson's motivations may be obscure, but their goal is the same: to destroy the dragon monarchs. That just sounds badass.
I'm actually intrigued.
That starts on October 1st. It's going to be 24 episodes. It is done by Studio Silverlink.
What was it called?
Ranga Crimson.
Okay.
Sorry. The next one is the Vexations of Shut-In Vampire Princess. It's another basic vampire story. I believe more than likely geared towards the female audience. Not going to be watching that one. Next one is I'm in Love with the Villainess, starting on October 3rd. It is a isekai, but also a yuri. So it is girls' love. The next one, it starts on September 29th. It is A Girl and Her Guard Dog. One of the only romance series that I'm actually going to be watching this season. Isaku never asked to be the daughter of a Yakuza boss, but when her parents died in a car accident when she was 5, her gangster grandfather took her in and raised her as part of the clan. After years of being avoided by her schoolmates because of her family ties, Isaku is finally ready to make her high school debut and live a normal life, and maybe even find love. Until loyal family servant and Isaku's dedicated guardian, 26-year-old Kaya, enters high school right alongside her and vows to protect her. Protect her from all of the above. Now she's got a chain-smoking, pistol-wielding knight in shining armor to deal with, and navigating high school besides. What's a young lady to do? This is a shoujo. The only thing that concerns me with this is the fact that she's 15 and he's 26. Only thing that concerns me with this series. I mean, hell,
Yeah, I'm gonna steer away from that.
I'm gonna at least give it a chance. This is the image on Mal for it. I just sent it to you on Discord. I'm gonna give it a chance because the last series that was kind of like this actually turned out to be like there was no love between them at all. So I'm gonna give it a chance. Um, Next one up does not have an English title. No English title. Let me see if the light novel has one. Here we go. Holy shit. Be prepared. This is a long title.
Mhm.
I'm giving the disgraced noble lady I rescued a crash course in naughtiness. I'll spoil her with delicacies and style to make her the happiest woman in the world. I was
And that was the fucking title.
that's the English title. The Japanese title is Konyaku Haki Sarata Reiju wo Hiritori Origa Ikani Koto wo Oshikumu Oshi Mono wo Tabaraste Oshiari wo Sasate Sakachi Shiwase na Shoujo ni Produce.
Gesundheit.
The alternate title in English is Leading the Young Lady I Picked Up Astray, Making Her the Happiest Girl in the World. The crash course in naughtiness and the fact that she looks like a 5-year-old girl on the cover of the volume 1 is making me say no. I don't think this is going to get good ratings at all. Next one is Shangri La Frontier. I believe it's a video game. So it's basically about a second-year high schooler whose only hobby is finding shitty video games, and he finds this VR one called Shangri La Frontier. Okay, next one you might be interested in. It starts on October 2nd. It is called MF Ghost. It is a racing, or should I say probably a drifting by the looks of it, anime. Self-driving electric cars have replaced internal combustion engine-based cars, becoming ubiquitous in Japan. However, racing circuit known as MFG, which employs traditional internal combustion cars, is garnering popularity worldwide. Kanata Livington, a 19-year-old Japanese British racer, comes to Japan after graduating from a top racing school in the United Kingdom to take part in an MFG and find his missing father, Ken Katagiri. Kanata moves to the home of his late mother's friends, Mr. and Mrs. Sonoji, and enters the race under his father's surname, borrowing a Toyota 86 from Ogata, the couple's family friend. Despite the overwhelming disadvantage in specs, Kanata makes it to the top 15 while racing top-tier supercars, demonstrating his phenomenal skills. This is a definite watch for me.
Same.
That is 100% a definite watch for me, and it starts on October 2nd. It's not on my anime list yet because October 2nd is already, or not, it is on it's not on anime timetable because it's not on my list. Oh, sorry. Definitely excited for that one. Next is Under Ninja. It's another one I plan to watch. This one starts October 6th. A high school loner is given the part-time job of a lifetime as a modern-day ninja tasked to perform international assassinations. I don't even need the rest of the synopsis. I'm already hooked just from that first part.
I mean, seems pretty cool. So I'd be down.
Next one is one that I'm not planning to watch. It is another Girl's Love. It's called Hoshikuzu Telepath. It's basically an alienated girl hoping she can connect with other girls her age and find love. Next is 4 episode specials. They're only 10 minutes each of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. It nothing too special. It's called After School Hanako-kun. Nothing too special about that one. Everyone who knows the series is waiting for the reboot of the first season, which why that's getting a reboot for a couple chapters being flopped around when the way the story is, those chapters it didn't really matter where those chapters landed. And like Promise Neverland isn't getting a new one for how badly they screwed that one up. But either way, the next one is one I know you're watching. I know Taco's going to be watching, and I have a feeling Sage is going to be watching as well. And that is Overtake. The F1 anime.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That starts on October 1st.
At first, whenever you said it, I was like, "Wait, it sounds familiar," and then I'm like, "Hold on, it's racing."
Yeah, it's.
I can't tell if you're laughing at me or what you heard in the background.
I'm laughing at you.
Okay.
Yeah, that starts October 1st. It's done by Studio Troy CA. I've never heard of them before. Some of the stuff they did is they did Recreators. They did a lot of Aldona Zero. Aldona Zero is their... Oh, they did Idolish 7 Third Beat. Is one of their highest rated ones. So they were only established in 2013. So they haven't been around that long. Hopefully they do a good job with this one, because I'm extremely excited to see Overtake. Next is another one I'm excited for, and that is Berserk of Gluttony. That comes out on October 5th. Fate Graphite is one of the Forsaken...
I don't even want to hear that word.
What?
I'm not saying it.
What word?
I refuse.
What word?
Starts with a B, ends with a K.
This has nothing to do with Berserk.
I know. I just don't even want to hear the word. Ew. I don't even want to hear the word.
Berserk is a class in like D&D type stuff.
Oh, I know.
Way.
I know.
Well, I can't say way
it's
before.
Also a class in Fate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't even want to hear the word.
Fate Graphite is
if you guys are curious on why I am I don't know, I could say pissed or upset or grossed out about the word, go ahead and watch last week's episode of Anime Madness. You'll see why.
I completely forgot about that.
Uh-huh.
Did we put that in the results? Yeah, we did. Okay.
Yep. Or, well, if you really want to know why, just go on to Discord and you'll see.
Join the Discord, go to the results chat, and you'll see why. Oh my god! That's right, that was his birthday last week, too. Man, mine falls in
Hmm.
the middle of the
Not
week.
mine. I just had to make a clarification. You were like, oh, and it was his birthday last week. No, mine's at the beginning of the year.
It was Skeletoni's.
Yeah,
Oh, man finally hit a second decade. Um,
young buck.
so the synopsis of this one. So I already know the synopsis on this one. I've been wanting to just buy the manga because it's a light novel, but there is a manga as well. I've been wanting to buy the manga of this for so long, but they never have the first volume. And it's done by Seven Seas Entertainment, same people who did Quail the Purple, Kindred Spirits on the Roof. What else do I have by Seven Seas? Oh, I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. I Had the Same Dream Again. So, you can't really find anywhere good to read it online where it still supports the original creators. Um, so I've been looking at bookstores, even Right Stuff Anime. They don't have Volume 1 like ever in stock. So when I saw it was finally coming out this fall for the anime, I was like, oh, finally, I get to consume this content. Let's go. So the synopsis on this one for you, because you actually might like it. Fate Graphite is one of the Forsaken, cursed with the skill Gluttony. He is ever starving, never sated, until the day he kills a dying thief and devours the man's strength and his soul. The true hunger of Fate Gluttony has awakened. And if he can learn to control his power, he will at last be a master of his own destiny.
Well, see, I don't know
I
why.
don't like that synopsis.
Whenever I hear gluttony, I think of Full Metal,
Yeah.
and whenever I hear Berserk, I think of Fate. But obviously, there's Berserk.
Here's
It's
the
Berserker class.
here's the synopsis of the light novel. Fate, a gatekeeper who had been working for the castle, is a beast by a few burdens. It is the constant hunger attacks triggered by a skill he had obtained upon birth, a useless skill. It only serves to make him hungrier. However, unbeknownst to him, it has a concealed ability. One day, having killed a thief sneaking into the castle, he finally noticed its true power. A skill that feeds upon the very soul of the subjects he kills, taking away all their powers, and thus finally his constant hunger had been satiated for the first time. With just that, the man who has been treated like a pile of trash slowly started to raise his head, having exceeded the concept of levels. He strikes fear with terror-like strength, earning him the nickname Berserk of Gluttony.
Okay.
That's a much better synopsis than what they're giving for the anime.
Oh yeah.
That's the synopsis I know. I'm not really too big in reading light novels. I'll read them here and there if I get them. Like Can't Free Your Own World, I've still yet to read for Bleach, even though I know there's a lot of canon material in it, including one of the five noble families and Shuhei's Bankai, and amongst other things. That's where Shinji's Bankai first gets mentioned, but his Bankai doesn't get shown until Brave Souls and then later Thousand Year Blood War. I have two Jujutsu Kaisen light novels. I have the six light novels that tell the entire manga for Full Metal Alchemist. I have a bunch of light novels. I just don't read them. So I never grabbed the first volume of a light novel of this. But that's the one that I know. That's what got me intrigued with it and wanted to start it so badly. Gonna skip the next one because the next one is a story about a group of 12-year-olds and they're female.
I mean, probably best to
Yeah.
play safe.
The next one though, I hate how it doesn't give me the English name. My daughter left the nest and returned an S rank adventurer. So basically, the dad was an adventurer, lost his leg, had to retire. His daughter said that she would go make his dream a reality and returns home an S-rank adventurer. That's a basic synopsis of the story. She'd rather be an adventurer than a farmer, pretty much. I'm
Which
planning
makes sense.
I'm planning on watching it because it's one of those fantasies that it's just like, ah, another fantasy anime. Just to consume. Next one is Shy, another one that I'm planning on watching. This one I have heard a lot. I've heard a lot of people talk how good it is. The theme is superpower. It's a shonen, and it's being done by Studio 8-Bit. Just as the planet approached its third world war, individuals with superpowers appeared from around the globe to maintain the peace. They became the symbols of their respective nations, striving to limit crime and bring evildoers to justice. Teenage heroine Teru Momijiyama, or better known as Shy, is Japan's representative in the world of heroes. When a mysterious threat called Amakarius emerges, Shy must work together with her fellow heroes to stop them at all costs. The only thing, which it doesn't say it here, if I go under it though, it might. Action drama superpower. I have a feeling this is gonna be heavy fan service for the main simple fact that only one of the heroes is male, which makes me think like possibly harem heavy fan service is gonna be at play in this. But the PV looks really cool. The main character, Shy, has fire-based abilities. So, I'm hoping it doesn't
So
turn out
like
to be this like harem.
elemental abilities.
It's basically like an all-women's Justice League or an all-women's Avengers.
Hmm.
Or better, it's similar to Infinite Stratos without the Stratos. Or yeah, because Infinite Stratos, the only people who were able to use the Stratoses were females, except for one dude, and it turned into a harem because of that. But take away the dude in that, and basically these people, each country has their like top contenders for a tournament held every year for the Stratos, and basically because of that, peace is kept amongst the world, but there are like terrorist organizations and stuff like that, and I have a feeling this is going to fall under a similar path, just without the Stratos being a thing. That's why I have that lingering thought that might turn into a harem, seeing that there's one guy part of the superheroes.
I mean, I don't know. I'll think about it.
That one starts on October 3rd, by the way. Next one, a returner's magic should be special. I'm not planning on watching this one. It's a time travel one. Last time travel one I watched was very confusing, and I've watched it 3 times, and I'm still confused. That being Steins Gate.
Yeah.
So it's kind of steered me away from anime where
Time travel.
it's clearly stated in the themes that time travel is part of it. So, because like Demon and Misfit King Academy, nothing stated about time travel. In the second season, there's a huge part of the second season that's all of them 2,000 years in the past. And it gets very confusing. Luckily, that's a lot easier to figure out and understand, but it's still confusing. Especially when it goes on a fucking 8-month 8-month delayment. Demon and Misfit King Academy started. Hold on, let me actually bring this up. I want to remember where this started. Hold on, I can tell you by how many days I've been watching it. Here we go. 254 days. Because I put start watching on the day it came out, which was January 7th. This shit started on January 8th in Japan. And it's going to finish up next week. Next week is going to have the final episode. Like, I almost had to restart the season to figure out what the hell is going on. So, yeah, time travel ones I just tend to steer clear of lately. Next one is starting on October 1st. It is The Family Circumstances of the Mismatched Witches. Alyssa, who is a witch who lives alone in the forest, picks up a human baby one day. Despite her confusion, Alyssa named the baby Viola and decided to raise her. 16 years later, Viola had not only grown into a daughter who adores Alyssa, but also into a woman of exceptional proportions. And I'm going to stop reading there. It's a gag humor one. I'm not going to talk about a 16-year-old's proportions.
Yeah. Next.
Next is Kami-Arby. I can't fucking talk. God app.
Kami.
Kamehameha.
No, just Kami.
It's a high stakes game theme, so it's on the lines, same lines as Joker game, Tomodachi game, and Katakuri. I am planning to watch it. It starts on October 5th. It's an action suspense. Every time I see suspense as one of the genres, I'm just hoping. I hate it. I hate huge cliffhangers. But if I see suspense as one of your genres, every episode better end with a huge ass fucking cliffhanger. Am I alone in that thought?
No. Like, I hate cliffhangers, but I feel like if there is a genre basing on suspense, or even if it's just like a subgenre or whatever, it should have a cliffhanger or at least leaving you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
For the next episode or
so Tomodachi
season.
game. I ended up binging Tomodachi game in one day. Because, and luckily I watched it like after the dub came out of it. So I think it was like a year after it aired. I watched it. And they did just that. Every episode ended with this huge cliffhanger. It's like, what the fuck? And I couldn't put it down. I watched all 12 episodes straight. Next one. I'm just going to mention the title, and you're just going to be like, next. It is Heat the Pig Liver. The story of a man turned into a pig, Bunta Liver.
Yeah.
Next one is a certain middle-aged man's VR MMO activity log. It's another one of those. It's a 38-year-old man inside of playing a video game when he's home from work. That's the whole story. It's not like how in like SAO had a whole other plot aside from playing the video game, or like my love story with Yamada at level 999. The video game sparked the plot, but the plot was outside the video game. This one is just video game. the depressed middle-aged office worker plays a video game. Here's his story of what he's done in the video game. That's what
Hmm.
I get from this. Next one's gonna be a pretty brief one. Uma Musume, Pretty Derby season 3, third season of whatever the hell that is. Next one is Yuzuki-san Chin no Yokudai. I think that's how it's said. There's no English. There's no English name for it. Not even for the freaking light novel or manga. Uh, it's published in Italian as Ai Quattro Fratelli Yuzuki. So this doesn't even have a proper English title. Yet. It's basically about a family of 4 brothers. It's a slice of life. I'm not planning on watching it. Next is Migi to Dali. It's a say. I didn't even know this was seinen. The stork brought an angel into the lives of a childless middle-aged couple. His parents are kind, and their house is luxurious, and the meals are delicious. But to continue to revel in the happiness, Hitori must conceal a certain fact from his family. That doesn't tell me anything at all.
I don't think it's supposed to tell you anything at all. I
That's
think
I
you
do.
gotta watch to find out what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's one thing I do like about Mal synopsises is even the ones that give you more information, like Berserk of Gluttony, or like what was another one they gave? MF Ghost, or even Overtake. They give you a lot of information, but it's not like spoiler level information like Crunchyroll does.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes they just give you too little that it's like I already wasn't interested in this show, and this synopsis just made me not care even more. And that's what I got with Migi to Dali's synopsis. Next one is Our Rainy Protocol. It is starting October 8th. It is another video game one. Second year high school student who lives with his mother and younger sister after his father was killed in an accident and his sister was injured. He quit the game he loved and now works at an esports cafe. I'm getting vibes of Sister Complex. I don't know why. I'm just getting Sister Complex vibes from this one.
Uh, I mean, I can see it
I
a
know,
little.
like, he's probably working part time to help his mother, like, to help support his mother. But, like, it's his little sister, so I don't know, especially after hearing about what happened in one of the newer chapters of Oshinoko. I think it was chapter 126, where the 2 main characters, Aqua and Ruby, finally put 2 and 2 together on who they were in their previous lives. And Ruby was a patient in a hospital where Aqua was the doctor for, and Ruby's previous life, she loved the doctor. Like loved the doctor. And when they both finally put 2 and 2 together, she starts getting very handsy with him to where she's like sitting on his lap, kissing him, and he's not doing a damn thing about it. And he already, like, early in the story, like where I'm at, he already has a sister complex with her to protect her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just huge I word vibes in that chapter. and a lot of people have dropped it because of that. I don't think I'm gonna necessarily drop it unless I get to that point and I see for myself how bad it is, because it's just hearsay and like 2 panels that I saw. So I guess it all will depend on what happens. Next one is one that I'm planning on watching. It is Firefighter Daigo, Rescuer in Orange. It's literally about firefighters, not like Fire Force, not like special fire divisions like normal firefighters.
Like it's an actual anime about
Yeah, uh,
actual firefighters.
the story of how 3 young firefighters destined to save Japan grow in spirit. Tokei Daigo burns with remarkable talent and unparalleled determination. Onoda Shun struggles against the walls blocking his own path. Nakamura Yuki hopes to become one of the few female members of the Special Rescue Corps known as Orange. When these 3 firefighters who share the goal of becoming members of Orange come together, the story of how Japan will one day be saved begins, and what looms before them is a crisis that endangers the entire country. So it's like, you know how like certain firefighters will be like part of like a special rescue unit?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what they are. They're pretty much Orange is basically just a special rescue unit. But like
Yeah.
it's not like that's what I mean by like normal firefighters on like Fire Force.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is the Idol Master Million Live. It's another female idol show. I'm not watching it. The only one that's really piqued my interest for actual idol series is Oshinoko. And I have a it's not really the music, it's the artwork and the revenge story that's in it. Because there's 2 different plots. You have Ruby's plot and Aqua's plot. Ruby's plot is the dream of being an idol. Aqua's plot is revenge on his father. And it's the person who did Kaguya-sama Love is War is part of creating it. He's one of the creators. But next one is I Shall Survive Using Potions. It's an isekai, and basically she's just a potion master. Is
I mean, it's
this
kind of in
a
the name.
soccer? Yes. The next one is Captain Tsubasa, the 2nd season. It's it's another soccer anime. I saw a couple clips of it, and it's nowhere near like Blue Lock or Josai, however you say it, the one that's on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
It's nowhere near the level of those 2. Next one is Hypnosis Mike Division Rap Battle, 2nd season. It's an anime about underground rap.
That's the first I've ever heard of that.
It's same. Next one is My New Boss is Goofy. It's another office work one, kind of like My Tiny Senpai or The Ice Guy and His Cool Female Colleague. Even though The Ice Guy and His Cool Female Colleague has supernatural parts to it because they are descendants of actual like spirits and whatnot. The main character is descendant of the ice spirit, and his best friend is descendant of the phoenix spirit. It has a supernatural
Mm-hmm.
thing in it. My Tiny Senpai is just this funny thing about a first year working at a company, and his mentor is a 3rd year, and she's like 4'4" with very large proportions, and she acts like a cat a lot of the time. This one is a comedy. But it looks like all four members of the team are all male, so it's probably gonna fall into like some sort of boys' love or something. 16-bit sensation, another level. Devote your youth to developing a lovely Bishoujo game that will make players fall in love. Oh yeah, I'm probably not gonna watch this. Um, that's just. I'm just gonna send you the link. I don't even want to read this. You can read. You can read the description yourself. He basically makes erotic games. Next one is Rail Roman Skew 2. It's the second season of that. Never heard of it. Next one is a third season that we've never heard of. B Project. Bullbuster. It's an action sci-fi. And it's a mecha. A young engineer, Tetsuro Okino, is transferred to a vermin extermination company called Hato Industries with the new robot Bullbuster that he developed himself. There, Hato Industries, a small company with little money, and its president Tajima are against a mysterious creature. There are fuel costs for robots, labor costs for pilots, and of course, wasting even a single bullet is unacceptable. Between their ideals of extermination and the reality of budgets, what does the future hold for Hato? So I'm getting like sensuality noir aspects from this, where it's like they use mechas to take out these like creatures and monsters and stuff, but we're following a company that has little to no money to do it.
Hmm.
Next one is Kibo no Chikura. And the synopsis on this is a new anime project that follows Yumihira Nozomi as an adult. Who the hell is Yumihira Nozomi? Oh, so it's technically the sixth season of Yes Precure Go Go, which is Magical Girls. So it's Magical Girl all grown up. Toei's doing it. Hmm. And the last one to really bring mention to, because the rest are kodos meant for wee little children, is Kizuna no Allie Season 2. Yes, I am going to be watching this. This is the only idle one that I'll be watching. If you remember, Kizuna no Allie was one of the worst projects ever done for the spring season. It got the worst ratings for the entire spring season, almost going down into the fours. I wonder what its rating's sitting at now. It's sitting at a 5.3. That's one of the lowest ratings I've ever seen. And this is just the second season. The only reason I really am watching it is because we finally got some like plot progression and character development in the last episode, and actually the last episode ended in a pretty good cliffhanger. Continuing into ONAs. So a lot of these are ones that are just going to be all dropped at the same time. Gundam Build Metaverse is going to be dropping 3 episodes on October 6th.
Hmm.
OVAs, we can. Yo! Hopefully that's not on there long. Okay, it's barely on there. Half of the OVAs were all H hentai.
Hmm.
But for movies coming out this fall, we have because the movies are coming out this fall and early part of the winter does not necessarily mean we will get them in America at that time. I hope we don't wait too long, because one on here coming out December 22nd is the Spy Family movie, which I am excited for. I believe it is filler. I don't think it's canon.
Well, that sucks.
You know, by the time this comes out, I believe the second season will be over. So it could be canon, but I don't think it is. We're also getting a Rascal Does Not Dream of a Knapsack Kid, which is a follow-up movie to Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. That's coming out December 1st. Otome Game no Hametsu Flag is getting a movie coming out on December 8th. Girls und Panzer the final arc movie 4 is coming out October 6th. I actually cannot wait for that. I'm fully caught up through movie 3. Digimon Adventure 2, The Beginning, the next movie in the Digimon Adventure main storyline, is coming out October 27th. Kamada, A Whiskey Family, is coming out November 10th. And a new Ghost in the Shell 2045 is getting a movie November 23rd. And that is everything coming out in fall 2023. Now, of course, there are still going to be some continuing anime into fall 2023, such as Helk. Bleach is going to run into fall 2023 a little bit. JJK will be continuing in the fall 2023. Rurouni Kenshin will be continuing into fall 2023. Dark Gathering will be continuing. Of course, One Piece will be. And I believe that is it for ones continuing. Actually, I believe Eden Zero and Pokemon New Horizons are also continuing into the fall. With that said, I'm going to show y'all what I chose for my anime list, Fantasy Anime League. So my active roster, I have Dr. Stone, New World Part 2, Undead Unluck, Deadmau5 Deathplay Part 2, Berserk of Gluttony, and Tokyo Revengers Season 3, with Seven Deadly Sins, Four Nights of the Apocalypse, MF Ghost, and the Firefighter Daigo on my bench. There are 14 days and 19 hours left to register. If you want to participate, all you got to do is go under Mao's homepage, go under Anime, click Fantasy Anime League, and it'll take you right on to the ongoing events where the fall registration is right there. And if you're in the Discord, I can make a new chat for the Anime League where we put who we're starting for that week. It resets every Monday. To show you a little bit about that, I will show you my current team. So 19 hours will be the next results for the summer. For week, this will change to week 12. I'm in 5,430th place. Yes, I know. But I chose for summer Masamune Kun's Revenge, Bungo Stray Dogs, Zom Hunter, The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses, Rurouni Kenshin with Rent a Girlfriend, Devil's Part-Timer, and Liar Liar on the bench. So we could put our weekly standing and score into that chat every week. But I figured I'd give you what I made. I don't think Overtake is on here to... It's showing the summer ones for some reason. Okay, weird. Don't know why it's showing the summer ones. But I don't think Overtake's on there, or else it probably would have been on here over like Tokyo Revengers probably. But this is my team. This is what I think is going to be doing the best this season. top one, I think, is going to go to Undead Unluck. I think that is going to get animated this season. What do you think is going to be animated this season?
Um, well, shit. We were talking about Seven Deadly Sins getting a reanimation, correct?
So it's a new animation studio, and it's not a reanimation. It's the sequel series, the Four Nights of the
Oh yeah.
Apocalypse. The
So
four
that's just
that
a movie, right?
the four that you're not allowed to draft for the fall fantasy is Shield Hero, Goblin Slayer, Spy Family, and Eminence and Shadow, because they're
Yeah.
so highly anticipated that they don't allow you to draft them. And then there's four that they only give you the choice of two. You can only pick two out of those four, and Doctor Stone, Tokyo Revengers are two of those four. I don't know what the other two are for that, because of course, for some reason, it showed uh, the summer ones when I went in to change my team. Okay, now it's showing. So the four that it's only giving you allowed to pick two of is Doctor Stone, Tokyo Revengers, Freyren, Beyond Journey's End, and the Apothecary Diaries. The ones that it's not letting you pick at all is Shield Hero, Goblin Slayer, Spy Family, and Eminence and Shadow. But I don't remember seeing Overtake on here at all. Oh, Overtake is on here.
Okay, so I'll probably do a Seven Deadly Sins.
You think Seven Deadly Sins is going to take the cake?
Possibly.
Now, with that said, since we're not going to do a summer recap one since summer's pretty much over, without including Jujutsu Kaisen or Zom 100 because they are continuing far into the fall, because Zom 100 only has episode 7 out, JJK only has episode 8 out. What do you think took the cake for best anime of summer?
Um, hmm.
Let me change this to show by rating. There we go. Show, sort by score. So the top one on Mao is Bleach with an 8.97.
So that means it
Wow!
won.
That, well, that's where it is right now. There's still 3 episodes to come out, and of course, JJK still has more than half the season left. But what's mind boggling to me right now is Bang Dream. It's my go, the one that I dropped because it has so many different series and I couldn't find the first one, is in 6th place for the season with an 8.22. Granted,
Hmm.
it only has 10K members to where like Bleach has 187,000. JJK has 580,000. Mushoku Tensei has 380,000. But honestly, if I had to pick one that took the crown this season, um, for seasonals, it would be Bleach. For ongoing and continuing, it would have to be One Piece because mainly because of the Gear 5th episodes. The Gear 5th episodes, as much as I love the look of the new Bleach animation and how good the new Bleach animation is, the Gear 5th episodes of One Piece blew that out of the water. Like, they were better animated than freaking Demon Slayer.
Yeah, I haven't watched them, so
And I mean, One Piece holds an 8.7 with 2.2 million members. So that's saying something. But sorry, that's the podcast. That was the fall anime preview. Let us know on YouTube in the comment section what you think took the crown for the summer anime and what you think is going to take the crown for fall anime. Make sure you check out all the links in the description. Join the Discord. Follow our Twitters. Follow Cope on Twitch at KillerCope412. And need some energy or hydration? Click that referral link in the description. Get yourself 5% off some Rogue Energy. And join. I dropped it. Join the Rogue Nation. As I have G Fuel set up all around it because G Fuel has the anime tubs. Yeah, that's that. If you came in late and want to hear our thoughts on the ones that are higher on the list, more anticipated than the other ones, this will be up for a week on here, and it will be uploaded on Thursday onto YouTube. So make sure you check that out then, and have a good night. Atomic.